There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Developer Insight Call. This is, today is February 23rd, Thursday. As always, we're going to go over arrow, red light, green light, market makers trend. There are no updates. We should have the newest version of red light, green light to start testing this weekend. The priority is to get market maker taken care of because it's already out on the market and not performing the way we want it to on most brokers. So we want to make sure we get the updated version out. So today I want to go over, so market maker is the only one we have updates for. Red light, green light, I'll have an update for you on next Thursday's call. But today, only market maker. And so let me do this. I'm gonna open up whiteboard, all right, and give you all the updates, for the new pair, for the new version. So version 2.07, all right. Couple updates we made to it. The next version will be version 3. This one didn't change enough, so we're not going to call it version 3 just yet. But some of the updates that were made, all right. The number one was around trade management, all right. And so, as you guys know, what we usually use, is just a standard break even. When it gets to so many pips in profit, it moves stop loss to break even, takes partials. All right, so we changed trade management to utilize for those who follow me on social media or have heard about it, I have a software called Cheat Code, all right, that has algorithmic levels, all right? So there are algorithmic levels for every pair. Every pair is different, but there are algorithmic levels. And so Market Maker now, I've implemented the cheat code algorithmic levels into Market Maker. So now from a trade management standpoint, all right, it utilizes those levels. So imagine that price went up, came back, pushed up, and you got into a trade right here. All right, we got into a trade right here. Well, at so many different intervals, all right, at different price points further up, there are what we call algorithmic levels. All right, algorithmic levels. All right, and so if we enter the trade in here, all right, once price gets to the first level right here, let's say the last level was right here, so I got in. All right, once price gets and touches this first level, first thing it does, all right, is take partial, takes partial, all right. For NAS so DAX and NAS, all right. DAX and NAS, it takes 20% partials, all right, 20%. As soon as it touches that level, doesn't have to close above it. As soon as it touches it, all right. So it takes partial, and then number two, all right, move stop loss, to break even plus spread. All right, which means that it'll be slightly above your entry. All right, that's number one. All right, now, as soon as it touches it, now, once on the 5 minute, once the 5 minute candle closes above this algorithmic level, all right, so once it closes now, so we'll put a circle there for closes above, then it moves stop loss to 50%. All right, what does that mean? 50% between the previous algorithmic level and then the level it touched. So now it's going to move its stop loss there like that, locking in more profits once it has a 5 minute close above. And then as it continues on, just say it does its thing, pulls back. As soon as it touches this level, it repeats it again. Takes another partial. I'm sorry, DAX and NAS take 20%, US 30, my fault, takes 10% partial. All right, 10% partial. All right, so as soon as it touches the next level, automatically starts over again. Number one, and then moves stop loss up above this algorithmic level plus spread. And then once it has its close above, then it repeats step number three and moves it to 50%. All right, so it's like a stair step all the way up. So if you happen to be in a trade and price falls off a cliff, 5,000, 6,000 pips, now you don't have to worry about missing some of those runners. All right, market maker now has set TPs, which it has now, and I'll explain that on how many more pips you'll be able to catch versus the old version. But I wanted to kind of explain how the new trade management setup works based on the addition of the cheat code algorithm. All right, now the cool thing about cheat code algorithm, all right, is it's using algorithmic levels. All right, those algorithmic levels allow for more fluidity in the market. So as price continues to go through those algorithmic levels, all right, you have a better opportunity of catching more pips. So there is no finite small amount of number. You know, matter of fact, let me give you the exact TP, stop loss and TP for everything here. So let's do this here. I'm sharing the what do you call this thing? The whiteboard. So you should be seeing it. If you're not seeing the whiteboard, I don't know what to tell you. You may want to log out, log back in, or scroll your Zoom over to the right because I'm sharing my whiteboard. Can everybody else see the whiteboard?
Yep, we can see it.
All right. So that's trade management. I'm gonna talk about the features that were added, and then we'll come back and I'll talk about the take profit and stop loss. So that's the first feature that was added, and that's just to improve. Number one, to improve trade management. All right. This is already proven. One thing a lot of people complain about with the current version is that they could be 1%, 2%, 3% in profit, and price hasn't pushed up far enough to be able to lock in profit, and then it reverses and potentially hits stop loss. And so this right here negates that fact. As soon as you hit that, as soon as you tap that cheat code level, all right, that algorithmic level, it automatically takes partial and automatically puts stop loss and profit. All right, automatically. And then when it closes above it on the 5 minute, then it moves stop loss further. It doesn't take any more partial, just moves stop loss further up. All right, locking in what? Securing more profit. So it secures profit a lot sooner and a lot more often. So the first time it secures profit, it moves stop loss above entry plus spread, and it takes partial. Then after that, it moves stop loss further into profit, and then it repeats the cycle all over again, taking more partials. All right, you get it. So as you get those runners, which we know US 30 and NAS can do.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
It's
it.
going to lock in more profit, and it's going to secure more profit as well. All right. So that's the first thing that was added. Let me erase this here. The other things are very minor. This is the major change. All right, there was only one other change that was made. To the actual strategy itself, which is the criteria that, all right, we got everything erased here. The criteria that peak formations. All right, so the way market maker works is it does this. It's looking for, on multiple time frames, is looking for this. It's looking for peak formations. This right here is a peak formation high. All right, and then it's looking at, when that peak formation high is triggered on all time frames, then it's starting to take its trades on the way down. And then the same thing with with buys. It's looking for that peak formation low so it can take buys up. All right, that's what market maker does, is looking for those peak formations. All right, and so one thing we had it doing in the beginning was the strategy for finding peak formations was the same on every time frame. All right, what we did with the for those who don't know, Desan, who created Variable, he is managing my trade, the back testing of market maker. He's also helping me manage with the reoptimization. And so him and his business partner have created a machine learning, is a form of artificial intelligence. They've created a machine learning algorithm that does all the work for us. All right. So for example, when we were running NAS 100, it was able to detect, it was able to back test, all right, for 3 months, 6 months, 3 months, because you guys know we train it on 3 months. And then we go back test it on 6 months, 9 months, and a year to make sure that it's stable. All right. And so the actual machine learning algorithm, its job, what it does is it's running different permutations, meaning what? So for example, NAS 100, 186,129 different permutations. What does that mean? That means different combinations of settings, time frames, everything you can think of as far as the strategy, as far as what time frames to enter in on, what time frames to have, to find the trends on, everything. Had over 186,000 permutations for 3 months. So at the same time as backtesting, it's backtesting all 186,000 permutations not at the same time, but simultaneously for 3 months. All right. And so what we allowed it to do is we allowed it to find different peak formations. All right. Use different criteria to find different peak formations for the different pairs. All right. So now we're not using the same settings to find the peak formations, because guess what? Every pair trades differently. So we're now using different settings. All right. So that's one big change that we've done. All right. Let me go erase this here. All right. Next is that's always changed when it came to the code. Or of course, then we also had the reoptimization. So new settings. We had a re-op. All right. Now, only other thing that we changed was our approach to how we backtest. So number one, we backtest now. So we're using Dukascopy. They're a very, very reputable provider. So they provide what's called tick data. So like today, the market traded today, and what these companies do is they record that data, every movement in every pip on every time frame. And then they store that, and then they sell it and allow people, like myself and Desan, to pay for it so that we can use it to backtest. All right. So we were only backtesting on Dukascopy. We now backtest on 3 different providers now. All right. On 3 providers. All right. Why? Well, there's different brokers. We found that out. So our goal now is we want to find a stable, strategy settings, all right, that works on all 3 providers. So we can find settings that are 80% win rate, so much profit, so much, drawdown on all three pairs, and it works on all three, then we use it. No, Vantage is not included. Vantage is not provided. They do not provide tick data, so we don't use Vantage. They don't provide it. All right. Most brokers don't provide tick data. All right. Most brokers, most brokers don't provide it. So Dugoscope happens to have a broker, but Vantage does not. They don't provide the data. All right. So we backtest on 3 different data providers. All right. And to ensure that we have what? We're not just only worried about one. All right. And hopefully this will help to alleviate the pain of having to work on so many brokers, on certain brokers, and you can use whatever broker you want. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2 thing that we changed to our backtesting was what do I want to call it? We just call it fitting. So the way we told the software, all right, to find settings, we said, hey, we want you to find settings that have this win rate, this drawdown, this potential profit. We give it all this criteria. Now we don't do anything. Now we just say, hey, go out and run. Just run. And we allow it to find its own settings. Instead of trying to force it to find settings, we've loosened the fitting. All right, we loosen the fitting all the way up. All right, and we allow it to find as many settings as possible. All right, and then once it's done running, then we go through and we comb through all those settings. All right, ourselves to find the ones that we like the best that fit the mode. And then from there, after we find the ones that fit the mode with the AI software, we then go run it on the 3 different providers to make sure it meets the criteria. So if it says, hey, Nas 100 is going to have an 80% win rate, 5% drawdown, 27% profit in 3 months. All right, great. Let's go run it on true tick data now. All right, on 3 different providers and see if it matches up. And if it matches up on all 3, that's a good setting that we're gonna use and test. All right. So that's kind of the process now that we've changed. Is we're using 3 different providers, and then from a fitting standpoint, we've loosened it. So we're not telling the software to give us these exact settings. All right, we're not forcing it to do anything. We are actually telling us, hey, bring us settings, and then we'll go through ourselves. I've already shared the whiteboard. Everyone else can see it. So that means that you're not seeing it, which means it's an issue on your end. Everyone else says they're seeing it. So it's being shared. I haven't stopped sharing it. All right. So those are the changes, guys. Very slight changes, but we're already seeing, all right, big gains. Well, I'm sorry, there's one other change. So, and this is a small change. So again, these first 3 changes here are for the strategy itself. These next 3 here are more or less for our approach to backtesting and things of that nature and formulating a good strategy. So the third change was the backtest itself. So backtest results. All right, so backtest results. So what we did, or what we were doing, is standard backtest results. So the software was set up to spit out results. It looks at how many closed trades you have. Well, if we're using this new trades management software that's constantly closing out trades, it could close out, 8 good trades that are smaller, and then 2 trades hit full stop loss. And those 2 trades that hit full stop loss wipe out all the profits, but the win rate's 80%. So what we've done now is been coded so that so that no matter how many times the initial, let's say the initial entry that we had, he hits 3 different cheat code levels, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 3 partials, and then you have the 4th one that either hits take profit or it closes out in profit at stop loss. So it's gonna be 4 different positions. So let's say that's one trade. Let's say there's another trade that has the same thing. And then you have 2 that hit stop loss. So that'll look like 8 were winners, 2 were losers, 80% win rate. All right, but it's only 4 trades. So what we are doing now is we've coded the software that does the back testing so that it looks at the original entry. That's why I put E there. So now we know it's 1, 2, 3, 4 trades total. And 1 won, this one won, these 2 lost. That's a 50% win rate. So now we're like, okay, great. Now what we're doing is from a backtest standpoint, we are looking at true win rate. All right. So we fixed the win rate and we're actually looking at true win rate versus over, just win rate the way that we know how to calculate it based on the amount of entries. So we're looking at true win rate, which is overall trades, regardless of the profit locks. The take part of the partials. If it has 4 partials or 3 partials and one trade that closes out at TP or at stop loss, if it's all part of that original trade, that's 1 trade. All right. So what this does is it helps us to wean out all of the results, all right, that really are 50% win rate versus 80%. All right. And so now we can start to look at the true win rates that are 75, 77, 78, 80% win rates. I can tell you for for US 30 and DAX, both of the win rates are over 80%. For NAS 100, it's 77%. So that's kind of where we landed at. We were potentially looking at different settings on NAS to try to get up to 80% win rate as well. But right now, we have a true 80% win rate on US 30 and DAX, and then a 77% win rate on NAS. All right. We are sticking with the same 3 pairs as of right now. All right. We will not add any more pairs to Market Maker until we get the MT5. Once we get the MT5 version up and running, and it's re-optimized here in 3 months. Well, I'll say 2 months is a goal. We'll say 3 months. That's another thing we're going to change. Is we're going to be actually putting out the re-optimized version every other month now instead of every 3 months. So we want to get it out faster. That way, you guys have every 2 months to 2.5 months. We don't want to wait 3 months anymore. We want to get it out really every 2 months so you guys have a fresh version before it starts to deteriorate. As we're starting to see, the markets are in high flux. They're constantly changing. And so we're seeing that, by month 3, people started to take, more losses than they were in the previous 2 months. And so we want to start getting new re-optimized version out every 2 months. We did have a 3-month run last year. I believe it was September, October, November, where we had 3 months straight of just fire results. Everybody was clicking on all cylinders. December came, volume dropped off. And I told everybody after about week 2 to stop running it. But some people ran it all December. And then of course, January came and, January was a poor month. And that's what everybody's is dealing with, is small loss. Now I've seen some accounts that, made money made money in February, but were losing money in January, and they've already either broke even or are already in profit for the year. So all depends on, again, what broker you're on. All right. So that's kind of the changes to the approach that we're going to be making, or that we've already made. And then, of course, the changes to the software. When we get on MT5, we'll put out the re-optimized version, and everybody will have that one. And then after that version, we will start to add pairs, all right, Forex pairs. So for those who don't know, Market Maker only trades NAS 100, US 30, and DAX, which are indexes, all right? I'm looking for Q2, maybe beginning of Q3, we will add Forex pairs, all right? That's the goal, to have Forex pairs. And then with red light, green light will have gold and oil, all right? And then we will add Forex pairs to red light, green light as well. So for example, we'll just have to see what strategy works best. But one EA will have like the Forex majors, your USD CADs, your USD Chef, I'm not gonna put Euro USD is not gonna be in there, so you don't even look for that. But he'll trade one of these EAs will trade the majors, and then one will trade the crosses, your GBP JPYs, your Euro JPYs, your pairs like that. All right. That way, those who want to be a little less risky can be a little less risky, and then those who want to be less risky can. So if you're just trading, the reason we're doing it this way is splitting up the majors and the crosses are because not everybody's going to be able to buy both softwares. So if you have market maker, you can run indices and forex pairs, and you can decide if you want to go heavy indices or heavier on the forex pairs. And then if you run red light, green light, you can go heavy on the commodities and precious metals or forex pairs, or vice versa. All right, because commodity gold and oil are volatile pairs, forex pairs are not. Forex majors or crosses are not. Indices are volatile pairs, but forex pairs are not. So it gives you a good balance on both softwares. And then again, if you have both softwares, now you can run forex pairs, commodities, precious metals, and indexes. And then starting Q3, I'll be teaching you guys about portfolio management. So we'll start to talk about how to manage your portfolio, how to build a portfolio, what it looks like, and be able to actually build your own portfolio based on your risk appetite. So I'm going to be building a risk analysis test, either building my own or using one that's already out there. And then from there, once everyone takes that, it'll be able to, and I may have to customize my own, but it'll be able to tell you what your risk appetite is. And then based on your risk appetite, there'll be a set percentage. So say, for example, your risk appetite is high. Let's say it's on a scale of 1 to 10, it's an 8. All right, so it may tell you, all right, great, based on that scale, you want to put 70, 80% of your actual volume of your need to go through indices, gold and oil, and then 20% through the forex pairs. All right, and then vice versa. If your risk appetite, let's say, is 2 out of 10, then it's the other way around. All right. So that's kind of how that will work out. We'll figure that out when the time comes. But that's the game plan with when we get to that point. All right. I don't know about Vantage. I don't know about Vantage. I'm not going to recommend Vantage. Vantage, to my knowledge, is not a regulated broker. I'm only going to be recommending regulated brokers going forward because of what will be transpiring later this year, if not in the next week or two. All right. MetaQuotes has already stated and is already doing so. If you're using IMGFX or have used IMGFX, IMGFX lost their MetaQuotes license. And guess what that means? They had to go out and they're now paying another broker who still has their license to use their servers. That's why their servers changed to Mugan, MUGAN, because they lost their license. And market maker taking more profits. DAX is killing it. DAX just pushed up and it's just taking another partial and more profits. Good Lord. That's beautiful right there. That's beautiful. Let me pull up my account so you guys can see it here. All right. Multi-bank seems to be on fire and customer service is great. Yep, people love multi-bank. Overseas, I'm working with the overseas team to figure out which brokers are going to be regulated over there. All this is new, so we're starting to see brokers left and right lose their licenses, guys. And so that is the goal, is to make sure that you guys have no issues. All right, because if they lose their license, or if they don't get regulated, then MetaQuotes is going to pull the license, and guess what that means? It means you can't trade because they're not going to be able to use MT4 or MT5. And by the way, sometime this year, MT5 is going bye-bye. I'm sorry, MT4. MT4 will be going bye-bye sometime this year, and it will only be MT5. All right, so that's why before I even worry about the newest version, I just want to get the current version with the current settings. I want to get that running on MetaQuotes. I mean, I'm sorry, on MT5. All right, on MT5. Once that's done, then we're good. Then we're good. All right, let me pull this up real quick here so you guys can see it. Pretty cool stuff. All right, let me go look at DAX. That's the trade we're in right now. DAX has been on fire. All right, but you guys will be able to see here how everything works out. So let me, again, we're in the testing phases. So got it on a demo account. All right, so you guys can see here on DAX. All right, let me hide this here so I can see everything here. All right, so you can see here, DAX had an entry right here. All right, DAX had an entry right here. And what did DAX do? Went into a buy. All right. Once it tapped here, you can see what? It took partial. All right. You can see it over here. You can see the partials. All right. %20 partial closed. All right. When it got there and closed, and then when it just got there, tapped there, it did what? It took another 20% partial. You can see that right there. And then it did what? It also moved stop loss up. So entries here, so now stop loss is now here. Stop loss used to be halfway. Now it moved up. So now it's got $100. It's got 0.5% locked in now. 0.5%. You can see it's up over 1% right now, but it's got 0.5% locked in. So as it continues to climb, if this thing continues to climb, it's continuing to do what? Do the same thing. Look, TP is way up there. So we still got a long way to go for potential TP, but it's doing what? It's doing a better job of locking in profits and moving stop loss along the way. All right. If you were looking for the broker that I'm talking about, they will allow both US customers and international. Again, they're MT5 only. I haven't switched over to MT5, but we're going to get there very quickly. Let me share my whiteboard with you guys one more time so I can give you guys the settings, and then I'll open it up to any questions you guys have, and we'll go from there. So new whiteboard. All right. New whiteboard. All right, so I'm gonna give you all the settings here. So first we're talking about DAX. Talk about DAX. We'll talk about the 30-30. And then NAS 100. All right. And so let's see here. Trend filter. So we'll talk about trend first. The trend filters. All right. We'll talk about stop loss, TP, and then we'll talk about the trading parameters. So trading days and times. All right. So from a trend standpoint, DAX uses the day one, the M15, all right, for the trend. All right. Stop loss is 500 pips. Take profit is 2,500 pips. I can tell you, by the way, I'm looking at the trade right now. It is up. What is that? It's up over 800 pips right now on this current trade. All right. It trades Monday through Friday. All right. 3 a.m. Eastern to 1 p.m. Eastern. All right, that is DAX. All right. Now the dirty 30, it uses the day one, the M15, and the M15. All right. The beautiful thing about allowing, and this is the crazy thing with the permutations, you know, with the actual strategy itself, the software that trains it. It found that using two different settings to find peak formations on the M15 plus the day one was better than any other permutation, had the best results. That's why, again, we allowed it to just do its thing, do your job. All right. Stop loss, 500 pips. Take profit, 5,000 pips. And then it trades Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. Eastern until 1 p.m. Eastern. All right. And then NAS 100 uses the H4, the M15, and the M5 for trend. All right. It's got the same strategy, 500 pips and 2,500 pips as DAX. And then it is Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so those are the settings for each pair. All right, like I was talking about, both DAX and NAS, every time they get to a new cheat code level, they take out 20% partials, and then US 30 takes out 10%. All right, so US 30 is allowing more of the trade, more of the lot size to ride, because again, we know that US 30 is more volatile. So if DAX, or sorry, if NAS runs, 4,000 pips or 2,500 pips in his TP, we're probably going to be close to 5,000, if not over 5,000 pips. Because typically, US 30 is about 1.5 to 2 times more pips as far as the movement. And so on those big moves like today, it allows, by only taking 10%, it allows more of the lot size to what? To run. All right, allowing you to capture more profits on those days like today, where we are already over a third of the way to 2,500 pips on the DAX trade right now, over 800 pips right now. So very good updates. All right, I'm very happy with it and where we're going. And I'm looking forward to version 3, where we'll be making some big, some even bigger changes. With that said, I will now. I'll now leave it up to you guys to ask any questions you guys may have, and then we'll end the call. Yeah, Ron. You got some good results today, Rona? Did you get that last? Yeah, I got to get that last couple trades. I know you didn't have some on the other broker, but that's why we test multiple brokers. So it's been a good day today. Good day today. It looks like DAX is going to keep on. It's back to the high of the day. So we'll see if DAX breaks out and keeps on running, or if DAX reverses. But it's already back to the high of the day. So it's pretty cool to see this bad boy running. All right, looks like nobody has any questions. So that is the update, all right, for today. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask in the chat. Based on the way the results have been going, and again, there's no bugs. Everybody, everything looks to be working, as it should. Only thing I really want to see is I want to see let me make sure. Yeah, I just want to make sure before I put it out that we have every pair trade. I haven't seen US 30 has not made a trade. Only Nas 100 and DAX. DAX has been making the most trades, so DAX is very active again, like it was in the beginning. But I want to see. I want to see US 30 make a trade just to make sure we have no issues with US 30. And as long as US 30 makes this trade, it trades fine. Then I don't see why we can't push the update live this weekend. That way everybody can have access to it starting next week. All right, so that is the game plan. I want to make sure US 30 does this thing first. All right, if it does, we're good to go. If it doesn't, we'll probably still put the update out, just won't activate US 30 until we get a trade on US 30. We just want to make sure that everything is working as it should on every pair. All right, on every pair. So with that said, check here. I'll send a new broker to you guys if you DM me. That way you gotta have it. So we're gonna trade the remainder of the day, guys. Remember to trade responsibly, and I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Thanks.